Welcome to the reading of the Times Reporter's newspaper for Monday, September 21st, the fall solstice, first day of fall. We begin today's reading with the area deaths. L. Parker Allen, age 80, of Mineral City, passed away Tuesday, September 15th. Services will be held September 22nd at 11 a.m. in the Dover Baptist Temple with Pastor Chris Rhodes officiating. Friends may call Monday 6 to 8 p.m. at the church. Social distancing and facial coverings will be observed. Samuel R. Beatty Sr., 59, of Uhrichsville, Ohio, passed away peacefully in his home, surrounded by loved ones, on September 17th. No services were listed. John Myron Miller, 88, of Winesburg, passed away Saturday morning, September 19th, following a brief illness. Funeral services are over. William Robert Schmidt, 85, of Deersville, formerly of the Cleveland area, passed away on Friday, September 18th, at Park Village Southside, New Philadelphia campus, after a period of declining health. In the interest of public health, services will be private. Eli J. Yoder, 60, of Baltic, died Saturday, September 19th, at Altman Hospital in Canton from injuries sustained in a bicycle accident. Services will be held on Tuesday, September 22nd at 9 a.m. at the Abe H. Troyer residence in Baltic. Friends may call any time at the Abe H. Troyer residence. Friends, that concludes the area deaths in the Monday Times Reporter. Let's begin with our first article. COVID-19. Tuscarawas County reports 20 deaths in the community. On Saturday, the New Philadelphia City Health Department and the Tuscarawas County Health Department were notified of the 20th COVID-19 related death in our community. The man was 81 years old, according to a joint statement from New Philadelphia City Health Commissioner Vicki Iono and Tuscarawas County Health Commissioner Katie Seward. In New Philadelphia, a man is charged with attempted murder for allegedly attacking police with a hatchet by Nancy Molnar. A 32-year-old New Philadelphia man has been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of felonious assault for allegedly attacking police with a hatchet on August 19th. Gregory O. Emanuel Jr. was booked into the Tuscarawas jail on Friday after being indicted by the grand jury on Thursday. The charges arise from an incident at Atwood Terrace Apartments in the 500 block of North Broadway. Police Chief Michael Goodwin said after that situation started when officials went to the complex because a woman said her son locked her out of her apartment. Police initially told the woman to contact her landlord to help with opening the door. When the officials arrived, they learned that her son would not open the door voluntarily for her, Goodwin said. Officers tried to help the landlord enter the apartment. The son became very agitated and pushed the door shut and began to make threats, Goodwin wrote in his prepared statement. Officers pushed the door open and found him standing in the apartment with a hatchet. Officers retreated back out into the hallway to take cover. Suspect continued to make threats and then exited the door still armed with the hatchet and attacked the officers. At this point, one of the officers fired his duty weapon, striking the male, Goodwin wrote. The police chief said the man fell down in the hallway and was handcuffed, at which point officers began first aid, which they continued until paramedics arrived. Goodwin said the situation unfolded in the blink of an eye. No officers were injured because of the incident, but some scrambled to get out of the way on the small interior stairway landing, Goodwin had said. 4 New Philadelphia police responded to the incident, along with deputies from the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Office. Less than an hour had elapsed between the time police were called about the apartment lockout and 5:37 p.m. when the ambulance was called for Emanuel. After the incident, the suspect's mother, Nancy Emanuel, said he was on life support after having a kidney removed and surgical repairs to his stomach, small intestine, and diaphragm. He received transfusions after losing a lot of blood, she said. She said her son locked him out of the apartment because she refused to buy him alcohol. The maximum penalty for attempted murder is life in prison. Our next article, Tusky Valley moves ahead with updated facilities plan by Barb Limbacher. At Monday's meeting, the Tuscarawas Valley Board of Education approved a resolution accepting the program of requirements and schematic design document phase to renovate the existing middle school to house grades pre-kindergarten to 6th grades, build a new middle school/high school for grades 7 through 12, and an allowance to abate and demolish the intermediate school at Bolivar, the primary school at Mineral City, and the high school buildings. The resolution is subject to the review and approval of the OFCC and directs Lesko Associates to proceed with the design development documents and to make the necessary changes and adjustments identified in the program of requirements and schematic design phase. The new middle school/high school will be constructed behind the current middle school. The Ohio Schools Facility Construction Commission approved the district to participate in the Classroom Facilities Assistance Program and approved project agreements in March 2020. Robert Blatchford and David Andrino from Lesko Associates of Cleveland and John Patrick, Executive Vice President and Project Manager from Hammond Construction of Canton, gave a facility project overview at the meeting. Patrick presented the project schedule, which includes a mass grading package. The subcontractor bid period is for October 2020, and the contracts will be awarded in November and site work to begin in November 2020 to the spring of 2021. The new building construction will include a subcontractor bid period of June 21st. The contracts will be awarded in July 2021. Construction will begin in August 2021, and the project is expected to be completed in June of 2023. The construction is being funded by money received from Rover Pipeline, which installed a pipeline through the district. A bond issue will not be needed to construct and renovate the facilities, as it is at no cost to property owners. Wow. The cost of the project is about $28 million. Superintendent Mark Murphy said a portion of the current high school will remain intact as a community center. The gym, auditorium, central offices, cafeteria, Trojan Center, and office space will remain at the current site. A new auditorium is an alternate if funding is available. It would be funded by locally funded initiatives, he said. A road will be constructed for the equipment to move to the site without interfering with students and parents coming to the high school and the middle school. A fire destroys a barn in Mineral City area by Nancy Molnar. Fire destroyed a 50 by 50 foot barn at 9125 German Cemetery Road in Sandy Township on Thursday night, according to Fire Chief Sam Moore. Half of the structure was used as a workshop. The other half housed chickens. Moore said 14 chickens and 4 chicks died as a result of the fire, which was reported at 9:45 p.m. Firefighters arrived 2 or 3 minutes later to find the barn totally involved in fire, Moore said. It was a wood frame structure with steel siding. Siding also melted on a nearby garage. The fire started in a back corner of the building near a refrigerator, Moore said. The cause is undetermined. The state fire marshal visited the scene Friday morning. The fire was under control in an hour, Moore said. Firefighters remained on the scene until 12:30 a.m. on Friday. Moore said the fire was hard to fight because the barn was on a long lane far from the road. Only one truck could travel the driveway at a time, he said. The Mineral City Volunteer Fire Department was assisted by others from East Sparta, Magnolia, Bolivar, and Fairfield Townships. The Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Office controlled traffic. Up next, our VFW is hosting an annual essay scholarship program. The Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States is announcing its annual Voice of Democracy Scholarship Program for 2020-21. This year's theme is this the country the founders envisioned? This competitive scholarship program will be awarding $3,000 in local scholarships through New Philadelphia VFW Post 1445 to the top 3 Tuscarawas County entries. The first place winner will advance to the district competition and may ultimately have the opportunity to compete for the $30,000 National Scholarship Grand Prize. The deadline for students to submit their entry is to post 1445 by October 31st. Our next article, Denison area man charged with rape. In New Philadelphia, the Tuscarawas County Grand Jury has indicted Chad D. McBride on a charge of rape. The indictment accuses him of engaging in sexual contact with a victim younger than 18 on March the 4th. It says he purposely compelled her to submit by force or threat of force. Court records show he lives on Pleasant Valley Road Southeast in the Denison area. The case originated in the Southern District of Tuscarawas County Court in Yerkesville. Yerkesville police filed the criminal complaint. Our next article, Austin Bailey Health and Wellness Foundation completes the grant cycle. The Austin Bailey Health and Wellness Foundation recently completed its September grant cycle. The foundation approved grants totaling $120,510 to 11 nonprofit organizations. The grants go to programs that promote the physical and mental well-being of the people residing in Holmes, Stark, Tuscarawas, and Wayne counties in Ohio. Area organizations that received grants include Access Health Tuscarawas County, located in Dover, which received $17,500, and Faith in Action, located in Massillon, which received $10,110. The foundation has 2 grant cycles each year. It is suggested that the nonprofit organizations interested in applying call the foundation office first to discuss the project or program. The deadline for submitting grants for the next cycle is December the 1st. Anthony J. Roniker, acquitted of drug charge, by Nancy Molnar. In New Philadelphia, a 39-year-old man has been acquitted of 3 drug charges lodged after law enforcement officers found him in a Beach City area motorhome that held methamphetamines, a digital scale, and items for using drugs. In an entry filed Tuesday, Tuscarawas Common Pleas Judge Edward O'Farrell wrote that he was not firmly convinced of the truth of the felony and misdemeanor charges against Anthony J. Roniker, aggravated drug trafficking, aggravated drug possession, and drug paraphernalia use or possession. He wrote that the prosecution failed to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Roniker controlled or possessed the contraband seized in the recreational vehicle. His decision said the prosecution failed to prove each of the essential elements of the alleged crimes. O'Farrell conducted the bench trial on July 29th. Roniker waived his rights to a jury trial. Attorneys presented final arguments in writing. Defense attorney Mark Perlacki argued that a woman rented and lived in the recreational vehicle where Roniker and the drugs were found. Roniker was only visiting her, he wrote. The fact that he was near a controlled substance does not prove it was his, Perlacki argued. He wrote that while Roniker's DNA was found on the scale, there was no proof of how it got there. The only identifiable DNA found on any of the devices for smoking meth belonged to a female, he wrote. Assistant County Prosecutor Michael Ernst argued that Roniker both possessed and intended to distribute the methamphetamine found near him. Ernst wrote that the defendant and the female occupant of the motorhome had equal access to the drugs. The case arose from an October 16, 2019 visit by a state patrol officer to an apartment at 5364 State Route 212 in Franklin Township, where Roniker was living. He and 2 Tuscarawas County Sheriff deputies went to the property after receiving complaints about guns being fired and all-terrain vehicles being ridden in the early morning hours. Roniker was not found in the apartment, but the rented motorhome on the same property. He subsequently was arrested on January 10, 2019, after a raid by members of the Lead Drug Task Force at the same property. Law enforcement found suspected drugs, drug paraphernalia, several $1,000s in cash, guns, a power washer, 5 stolen all-terrain vehicles, a stolen car, dolly, and 2 stolen trailers. Roniker is still facing 6 more charges from 2 more indictments. Those cases involved charges of possession of LSD, receiving stolen property, and 2 counts each of aggravated drug trafficking and aggravated drug possession. An October 14th trial on both cases is scheduled before O'Farrell. Canton attorney Eugene O'Brien is representing Roniker in the pending cases. Ernst, the prosecutor, said he disagrees with the conclusions reached by the court after the first trial, but accepts them. This decision does not change how we intend to proceed with the remaining indictment, he told the Times reporter via email. In the stolen property case, O'Farrell granted a defense motion in June to exclude from the trial all evidence seized from the garages, outbuildings, vehicles, and campers located on the property. Evidence seized at the 2 apartments and an aluminum trailer was ruled admissible. Roniker has a prior conviction for drug possession in Medina County, according to online records of the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction. He was on parole when he was arrested. Our next article, Wilderness Center to hold the Enchanted Forest. The Wilderness Center will hold its Enchanted Forest at 7 p.m. October 9th and 10th via Zoom. Those who attend will virtually visit the night shift during the Mother Nature and Her Forest staff meeting. Registrants will receive an email with their individual Zoom login information the day prior to the event. Recordings will be sent to participants after the event and available for a limited time. The cost is $15 without membership and $12 with membership. The health department is gauging tobacco use perceptions with online survey. In Dover, the Tuscarawas County Health Department officials are encouraging residents to share their thoughts on topics like the new Tobacco 21 law and smoking in public places in a new online survey. Health educator Kelly Snyder says they've compiled a list of questions to assess residents' perceptions about tobacco use rates in the county. She says this survey takes 5 to 10 minutes to complete, and the results will help shape prevention efforts and tobacco-related programming in our area. A link to the survey can be found on the Health Department's website and Facebook page. Snyder says those who complete it in its entirety will receive a link to enter a drawing for a chance to win one of 5 prizes valued at $25 each. Next, Claymont ironing out levee funded project details. In Denison, Claymont's operations manager says they still have a lot of work to do to get the high school football stadium ready for its multi-million-dollar makeover. Beth Lint says they're hoping to break ground on the new field house when football season wraps up in November. She says they're going with a prefabricated building with a white exterior and a bronze metal roof, but the materials have to be ordered soon for the project to remain on schedule. The district is also moving forward plans to install a new metal roof over part of the high school. The school board has approved a nearly $1.4 million contract for the project with Alumni Roofing in Mansfield. That also slated to begin in November. This next article, Vision Trends in Dover has one of 15 eyewear frames ever made, by Roger Metzger. Dover Vision Trends carries unique eyewear with frames made of such material as vinyl records, but Dr. Scott Keating has one frame in his possession that is extremely rare. In fact, so rare that the longtime optometrist has one of only 15 ever made. Keating is the sole optometrist in North America to have that prestigious eyewear from Boudry Eyewear, an Italian marble high-end frames company. Only 15 frames were ever made out of a quarry that no longer exists, and Dr. Keating was awarded one of them. Needless to say, it's a rare and unique frame, says Keating. One of those frames is right here in little old Tuscarawas County, not Chicago, Naples, or in Manhattan. The blue and white marble frames, named Blue Jeans, is from only one quarry in the world located in Turkey. The marble takes its name from its bright blue parts, strong resemblance to stone-washed denim fabric, with brush strokes of bright blue fading into pastel blue streaks, as if the stone's color had been washed away by water. Due to the rarity of the blue parts of this material and to conserve its precious status, this model was produced in a limited edition of just 15 frames. He received 3 frames earlier this week from Boudry and has already sold 2 of the 3 for a pretty penny. The rarest, the one made of blue and white marble, is also in line to be purchased. I'm proud because it says something that they respected our business so much that they awarded it to us, said Keating. It makes you feel that we're doing something right. This could open the door for more sales to be made, and more than likely will. Keating has been in practice for 30 years, including the last 9 in Dover, located at 707 North Wooster Avenue, and before that, Yorksville and Newcomerstown. Just last weekend, Vision Trends held its annual 2-day sale that offered patients to save up to 30% on frames and lenses. Business has been so good at Vision Trends, Keating is in the process of expanding on all fronts. New examination rooms and pre-testing areas have been built, the parking lot has expanded, the workforce has grown, and another optometrist will be added in the spring. But the biggest addition is a personal one, as his son Brent will be joining the practice in the next 2 years. We have done so well, and that has helped us expand, said Keating. For more information, contact Vision Trends at 330-365-2020. Moving on, State Route 647 slide repair to begin. A slide repair on State Route 647, east of County Road 4, is scheduled to begin September 21st. That's today. Traffic will be maintained via a temporary traffic signal and an 11-foot width restriction. The estimate date of completion is June 23rd. For more information, go to ohgo.com. Pandemic increases the need for funds raised by the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign, by John Baker. In New Philadelphia, the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign doesn't start until November 12th, but the organization is bringing it to the attention of the public now because of the COVID-19 pandemic has helped push requests for services to an all-time high. Based on the increase in services already provided in response to the pandemic, the organization could serve up to 155% more people in 2020 with Christmas assistance, including putting food on the table, paying bills, providing shelter, and helping place gifts under the tree, assuming the resources are available. Since March, the Salvation Army Dover, New Philadelphia Corps has provided more than 1,600 meals and more than $15,000 in rent and utility assistance and continual emotional and spiritual support to those in need, according to Lieutenant Andrew Allen, who commands the local citadel with his wife, Lieutenant Amanda Allen. There has been a huge increase in need due to the pandemic, he said. That need is continuing. Typically, the local Salvation Army provides 250 food boxes a year to residents. Between March and August of this year, it has provided 2,500 boxes. At the same time, due to the closing of retail stores, consumers carrying less cash and coins, and the decline in foot traffic, the Salvation Army could see up to a 50% decrease in funds raised nationally through the Red Kettles, which would limit its capability to provide services for the most vulnerable. Last year, $126 million was raised nationally through about 30,000 Red Kettles. In Dover, New Philadelphia, 136,000 was raised through 9 kettles. Funds raised by the Red Kettle campaign are used to pay for programs the Salvation Army operates locally throughout the year. Well, my dear friends, this concludes the reading for the Times Reporter for Monday, September 21st, our first day of fall. You please stay safe until we meet again. Be extremely blessed and do what you can to make today a great day.